Hi, my name is Alyssa and I am here from Party Products USA, and so far hopefully you have watched part 1 of how to make a 6-foot table arch, and now you're going to watch part 2 of the video, which is going to be teaching you how to attach the ears so that you have a Mickey or Minnie Mouse arch. Oh, you could do it, I know it. Okay, so what we're going to be doing this time is we're going to be making the curve that's going to cause the ear. And we are going to be creating this on fishing line, which if you look super close, you can see right here. Now, one of the things that you want to make sure of, because I know I'm going to have a hard time attaching this because I pulled the one on too tight, and so I have just about 6 inches on this side, and I have a good 1.5 feet on this side. So all that's going to do is make it a little bit tougher for me to attach, so I might need to use a balloon to attach this one. See what it does is when you do it on fishing line is you are able to bend it and give it the nice tight shape. So that way you can put it on top of your arch. And you want these to be really tight. Okay. So again, the basic for this is going to be your quad, because that's pretty much the basics in most balloon decorating. I'm going to show you one more time how to make it in case if you forgot. So what you do is you have your 5-inch balloon, you have your balloon pump. We're going to fill this 1, 2, 3 times only for the ears. Tie it off. For the second one, again, 1, 2, 3. So we're making this about a 2.5 to 3-inch balloon. It's a little bit smaller than the other balloons, just makes it a tiny bit tighter when it packs. What do we call this? Duplet. Good job. So again, 1, 2, 3. Always make sure your pump's completely open or closed. 1, 2, 3. Two duplets. Twist them, criss them, cross them, all over. And then you have your quad. Okay, so this is going to be your main piece for the balloon decorating. Now, you should have some fishing line. I used an 8-pound test here, but it's a little bit easier if you use a 20-pound test. The only reason why is because you can see it easier, so it's not as hard to work with. And again, I pre-filled all of my balloons and I put them in a bag just so that this part goes faster. So once again, if you remember from the first part, what you want to do is make sure that your pattern looks the same going all the way up, because otherwise it's not going to be symmetrical. This is super important for the ears. So we are going to count how many balloons we have. We'll start with the yellow. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows. Now what I usually do is I sit down, turn on the TV, I make my quads, and I have 2 bags. And I make it bag number 1, bag number 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5. So that way I end up having the same amount of everything. If you do have some extras, it's okay, because sometimes you have a balloon go down and then you could take one of the quads out and put another one in. You're going to notice that this is done exactly the same as we made it when we wrapped it around the pole. So it's really something that you already know. The only reason that it's a little bit trickier is because it's made on fishing line, so you have to hold it and grab it and just keep track of it. The bottom row is going to be a little bit trickier. You want to make sure that you have at least a foot. I'm going to slide it. What I do with the bottom row is I just tie a little knot. Just a knot, just like you're tying shoelaces. So then we have just 4 balloons wrapped around some fishing line. Now what you're going to do is I normally take it and I put it around my neck and in my mouth because it's a bad habit. It keeps it there. You're just going to hold the fishing line, balloon down, wrap it around, and push down the center. Exactly the same as it was around the pole. That's 1. Wrap it around and push it down. 2. 3. 4, oops, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now for the orange, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 again. If you're doing all black, this is so much easier, or all white. 1, 2, 3. Where it gets hard because I'm short. 4. Really can pull it tight because that's what starts to give it its curve. Fishing line normally doesn't tear a balloon. And 5. Push, 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 nice and tight. And we're doing the red. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You guessed it. Over, around, 3, over, around, 4, press it down in the center, make it tight. And 5. And now we just have 2 of the dark blue. Clubhouse usually has lime. This one does not. For customer request, my son doesn't like green. Can't argue with that. Around, crisscross over. So now you can see that we have this nice balloon. 2 sides. Right, about a foot over here. A lot more than a foot over here. And it's shaped like a little arch within your arch. So these are going to attach to the top. So now again, we want to lock this piece in, and you have to make sure that this is tight. If your ears do not stand up, they're probably not tight. You want to push them together, you want to pull them together, you need to make it tighter. Okay, so let's go ahead and show this part up close. We have our end. I'm going to take it down. Row, and then up, and then again in one other spot, down a row, and up. Just pull it tight, because that just makes sure that it's more locked into place. You can see it has its nice air shape already. Yay! So let's attach this. Again, you want to be using something that's sturdy, like a step stool. It's a good idea to have somebody else spot you if needed, just so that you don't fall. You really don't want to do that. Okay, so this is not too tricky. It's just a matter of practice. So we're going to start in the center. You can see I have my center point because I marked it with orange. What we're going to do is just take the fishing line. If you have 2 people, you just want to have them hold this part and balance it. Just going to take fishing line, pull it and wrap it through. And right now, I'm just going to give it a little back. So much easier if you have 2 people. So I'm going to take this part. What you want to do is count how many rows you go down so that it's even, and you do it in the same place for each one. So I have this, and I'm going to start 1, 2 rows up. So I'm going to go between rows 2 and 3, because that's where my form seems to be nice. I'm going to just wrap the fishing line around the balloon. I'm going to take it and I'm going to wrap it around the top row. And around bottom row. And again around the top row. Oh, nice and tight. Now I'm actually going to cut all this excess that I have. You don't need to knot it because there is plenty of, it just stays, since this piece was short, I was just holding it in place. So take the extra fishing line, take it, again, wrap it below between the bottom two balloons. Pull it up super tight. And just tie it off. And make a nice knot right here. And I'm going to cut that off. What I want to do then is just kind of make sure that it'll stand up. One ear down. So let's go ahead and do our second ear. Since this piece was short, I'm going to save myself the trouble now. I'm going to elongate it by just tying these two pieces of fishing line together. You'll notice that when you tie fishing line together, it does want to slide. So what you need to do is you tie your first knot, and then when you tie your second knot, you kind of just push it through the little hole of the first one, and then you pull it together. So that way, oops, it's not going to do that. All these fun noises we have here tonight. I'm going to start with the bottom this time. Doesn't really matter if you start bottom or top. First time I started from the top just because I wanted to see how far it was going to go, but now we know that we're between the second and third row. So again, in between the second and third row, right here, is where I'm going to, oops, pull my fishing line. Again, I want to make sure that this is nice and tight. You can see that I'm so I just want to push these down. So let those nestle and these nestled in place. Make sure it's nestled. If it starts to come apart, then it's going to get all wiggly wobbly. So again, between the second and third row. I told you I did it too short. I'm going to use a balloon just to tie it in. It's again done the exact same way. That's why you don't make your fishing line too tight or too loose, too short even. Exact same way that I would do it with the fishing line. Okay. You can see I'm moving this a lot and how that top ear stays up there. So again, you just want to make sure that it's in spot. middle and the second one. Into place like that. And then what you want to do is make sure that all your quads are straight. Because if all your quads are nestled in between each other, it's going to stay up and be nice and balanced. The thing that we need to do is make sure this was nice and tight. You know, it's looking precarious now, but once you get it balanced, it's going to stand up for several days. As long as it's not outside in the sun. So you can see, there you go. Now you have your beautiful and lovely Mickey Mouse arch. So let's show you a close-up of it. We have the C-clamp that's tied around the table. Way up. See how everything is one nestled in the other. And again to our C-clamp that is around the table. So that is how you make a Mickey Mouse or a Minnie Mouse arch. An absolutely lovely design. We have some other stuff going on, and that's how you do it. So if you have any questions, just feel free to give us a call. The number here is 219-365-2477. Otherwise, you could also find us on Skype, and that is Alyssa St. John, and we could go ahead and talk you through any directions that you're missing while you're making your arch. So thanks so much for watching and for ordering. We'll see you soon. Bye.